YouTube, it's Zoe, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of massively failing my 2018 reading challenge. I basically read nothing. To be fair, I am taking 6 difficult classes at university, but that's really no excuse because I have had some free time. Not a lot, but some, and I've been using that free time to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Avatar: The Last Airbender instead of reading. As you can tell, I've been in a slump the entire year so far, but I am finally seeing the light. I finally want to read again. Huzzah! So today we're going to go through the 5 books I am currently reading. The books that I picked up as I was trying to get out of that reading slump. I was very good at picking up books, but not very good at finishing them. So my goal for spring break, my spring break is next week, I believe. So my goal for that week is to try to finish as many of these books as I can. The first book is Winter Song by Jae-Jones, which was actually sent to me with the second book in the series, Shadow Song, by St. Martin's Press, who is kindly sponsoring this video. Thank you so much. So far, I've only read the first 4 chapters because I got distracted by schoolwork, of course, and put it down, but the summary is so amazing because it is a retelling of Labyrinth. If you don't know what Labyrinth is, it is an amazing 1980s movie that stars David Bowie in really tight pants that I used to watch all the time as a kid with all of my siblings and my parents. It is catchy music and Jim Henson puppets, the guy who created the Muppets, and it's just so amazing. So, of course, when I heard that this was a retelling of Labyrinth, I had to get my hands on it, of course. So back to this book. This follows a 19-year-old named Liesl who is fascinated by the tales of this dark and beautiful and mysterious Goblin King, the guy who David Bowie plays with really tight pants. Liesl is a musician and the Goblin King is actually her secret muse. She wants to pursue her dream of music, but she cannot because she has to focus on running the family in. Then disaster strikes and Liesl's sister is actually taken by none other than the Goblin King, and the only way to get her back is to marry him. So it's a little bit Labyrinth, a little bit Hades and Persephone, which I also love. I will be returning to this story. Thank you, St. Martin's Press, for sending me these books and for sponsoring this video. Shadow Song and the paperback of Winter Song both came out on February 6th, so you can go and get these and envision the Goblin King as David Bowie in tight pants. I'm going to stop now, I promise. The next book that I started in the past few weeks and I'm technically currently reading is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I don't have an official version, this is just an art copy, so if it looks a little different from yours, that is why. This follows a human, Jude, who is raised in the world of Fae and wants to be accepted by the High Court of Fairy. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this book, and that is actually why I didn't continue reading it, why I haven't picked it up in the past couple of weeks, because I went into page 1 expecting it to be the most amazing book of all time, and when it wasn't, I was disappointed and I put it down. It's my own dang fault going in with unrealistic expectations. Also, I was in the middle of a reading slump, so that explains partially why I didn't continue reading it. I am going to give it another shot. It's not fair to the book that I expected so much from it. I need to learn from experience and always go in with low to no expectations because then I will never be disappointed, and when it's amazing, mind-blowing, I will be pleasantly surprised. But unfortunately, I always let hype get to my head. Then we have a book that I've been reading for so long, way too long for such a short book, and that is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. I don't even know when I first started reading this, months ago, and I actually really enjoy it, so I don't know. I am still only 3/4 of the way through, and I've been reading it for about 4 months or maybe even longer. I've been listening to it as an audiobook before I go to bed, and I keep falling asleep at the same part before I make any progress. I am such a disappointment, I know, but that's a good thing about this video. It's calling attention to how terrible I am at finishing books, so that next time I do a currently reading video, I may have made progress. Anyway, this follows several incredibly rich families who live in Singapore and China, and the gossiping and scheming that occurs when the heir to one of these families brings home his girlfriend who is not rich and was raised in America. It's so wild and funny, and I've been having such a great time reading it or listening to it. I just need to sit down one night and physically read the book so that I don't fall asleep at the same part. Book number 4 I started was Let's Talk About Love by Claire Kahn, which is one of my most anticipated books of the year. This follows Alice, who is biromantic and asexual. Her girlfriend breaks up with her at the beginning of the novel once she learns that she is asexual, and then Alice gets a massive crush on this guy named Takumi, who is working with her over the summer at the local library. I read the first 50 pages or so, and it was fun and lighthearted, and I love the representation, but unfortunately it did not hold my attention. Avatar: The Last Airbender won out in the competition of my free time, but I promise I will return to this book. I will not just ghost the book. Now onto a book that has actually kept my attention and I am nearing the end of. I am finally going to finish a book. It is The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. This is about two people, Alexa, who is African American and the mayor's chief of staff, and Drew, who is white and a doctor. They meet at a hotel in Berkeley when the power goes out and they are stuck in an elevator together. Drew is at the hotel for his ex-girlfriend's wedding and is in desperate need for a date, and so Alexa fills in as his fake girlfriend. They start to develop feelings for one another, and because Alexa lives in Berkeley, which is in Northern California, and Drew lives in Los Angeles, which is in Southern California, they have a long-distance relationship. I know it sounds kind of cliche with the whole getting stuck in an elevator and filling in as a fake girlfriend, but it is so much fun, and it actually does touch on some fairly complex issues that I was not expecting in a chick lit book. Specifically, it focuses on issues that can arise in relationships that are mixed race and long distance, and where both parties are high-powered professionals. Also, the point of view switches between Alexa and Drew, so you can see just how much miscommunication goes on between these two. It is so frustrating, but also it's what I like in a chick lit book. It's one of the best chick lit books that I've read in quite a long time, so I would recommend, and I am going to finish this book very soon. Maybe even tonight. Maybe. Probably. Let's do it. Let's finish a book, everybody. Yeah. And the last book that I am currently reading is that 6? This is the 6th book that I'm currently reading. It is Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, the 2nd book in the Dark Artifices series, which I've been reading since May, since it came out, so half a year, more than half a year. Oh my gosh, it's so long. And I'm still only on page 200 of 700. Actually, I have been meaning to read it quite slowly because the next book in the series doesn't come out until December, October, later this year. I haven't heard any spoilers, but I have heard that the ending is very frustrating. So I've been trying to postpone finishing it, but you know, screw that. I'm gonna finish it. I'm in the mood to read about some shadow hunters, so I'm gonna finish it. How many times have I said that? But I promise, okay, spring break, I'm gonna finish this book and I'm going to cry so much and it's gonna be amazing. Also, the audiobook is narrated by James Marsters, who plays Spike in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and like I said before, I've been watching a lot of Buffy, so that is actually the reason why I remembered that I was still reading this book. So procrastinating and watching Buffy actually helped me read. That makes no sense. Okay. Oh, I almost turned off the camera before I realized that I have been reading this semester, just not for pleasure. I am in an American poetry class and a Shakespeare class, so I've read 5 of Shakespeare's plays so far. Taming of the Shrew, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Hamlet, Macbeth, Much Ado About Nothing. I think that's all so far, but we are going to read all of his plays, and I have read just an absolutely incredible amount of poems. We read The Wasteland, Patterson by William Carlos Williams, some Langston Hughes, who was my favorite, some Gertrude Stein, who was not my favorite, and so many more, some Robert Frost. A lot. So I'm not as far behind as I thought. So this was a video. It was mostly just me being disappointed in myself for not reading too much, But you know, at the end of the day, reading is just a hobby. It's just something I have fun doing. So why am I letting it stress me out? Why am I letting Goodreads reading challenges, which I set myself, stress me out? I don't know. I'm sorry that you had to listen to me complain this entire video. I am just stressed in general, so I applied it to this, and it shouldn't be applied to this. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know down below what you are currently reading. Are you too reading 6 books at once? Let me know. You all are so great, and I will talk to you all soon in my next video. Bye! David Bowie in tight pants is just all I can think about. What has this turned into? So it's a little bit Labyrinth, a little bit Hades and Persephone.